Hey guys, Chris Superfast RC, and today we're going to be taking a look at something a little different. This is a sailplane. This is a TowerHobbies Vista BL. This is a 78.5 inch wingspan sailplane. Brushless powered, obviously, and almost ready to fly. It's not much assembly required on this thing. This thing first came out probably around, probably 2016. That area, I had one. I absolutely loved it, and you're gonna actually see footage in this review of me flying my original plane. Why don't I have that original plane? Well, this thing flies so well, I got a little cocky with it, and I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It flies so great, I was so confident. I just took it in front of my house, threw it, and it went straight up, came straight back down. I forgot how much lift this big wing generates. I mean, it generates a lot of lift, and full throttle, straight into a wind, straight up, straight back down. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to find yourself a nice open field, and you're going to want to just gently toss it, throttle up about 50%, toss it, and then take it from there. You don't want to totally just chuck it and full throttle it like I did. That's what killed it. But I liked it so much, I bought another one. I'm going to show you what I've got going on here. So as all balsa wood, old school balsa wood planes, you got a rubbered on wing. So we got to take the rubbers off. Take the wing off, be careful not to bust it. Set it down, stay. Okay, we got our rubber bands off. So right now, I am running two standard sized Tactic servos. They're just regular standard torque servos, nothing special, you don't need it. And I'm running a Futaba 4-channel, actually this is 6-channel, 6J receiver here. It's got tinted diversity, which is important when you're running something that can go this far away and flies this high. We want to have something with a good solid signal level. So out of the box, TowerHobbies includes a 1000 kV outrunner motor and a 35 amp speed control with LiPo cutoff. Works perfect, guys. No complaints. Plenty of power on this bird, and they did a great job with the power system. Also, you get a high quality folding prop, which is a nice feature. When you get to your cruising altitude, you just cut the throttle back and the prop's gonna fold back. It's really nice. So what do you do with a sailplane? So with a sailplane, you're gonna be looking for thermals and basically extending your flight time as much as possible. And with this plane, all day long, man. Ideally, you wanna fly this thing early morning, you know, before lunch. I like to start about 8:30, nice sunny day, summer day. Summer's the best time really for thermals around my area, that is, mid-morning. And this thing, it just soars, absolutely soars. I think I've clocked a 45-minute flight time on this thing. And that's just, you know, getting to altitude, finding thermals. When you're not using your motor, you're just using your servos. So you can go for a super long time. And honestly, you get more fatigued by the time you're ready for the plane to come down. So should you buy a balsa wood plane for your first kit? Probably not. Balsa wood is the absolute best material to build an RC plane out of. That is bar none, and I'll argue that with anybody. Not for durability, of course, but your handling and overall maneuverability of the model and the sharpness of it and the rigidity of it, you just can't do it with foam. They fly better. It's a better plane. It flies so much better than a foam plane will. Not saying foam planes fly bad. They do fly very well, and they are getting better and better as the years go on. But I just haven't seen one yet that tops the way a balsa wood plane flies. It's lighter, it's faster, it can take more stress, I think. It's better overall flying experience. But if you're new to RC and new to RC planes, probably start off with a foam model. It's just you're gonna have a better day. If you crash this thing, it's over. You're 125 or you're 130 bucks out. And then you're gonna be digging out your servos and your electronics, of course. And I've done that. Like I said, this is my second one, but I bought it again, and that tells you how much I like it. I also have the Vista Grande, which is I think it's over 100, it's like 105 inches. It's a huge wingspan. And you actually can take the tips off that one to get it in the car a little easier. That's another thing with these sailplanes. This wing is not two-piece. When you assemble it, you make it a single piece wing. You glue the two halves together with a wing spar, And this is what you got. So you got to be able to haul 78.5 inches of wing around. You know, most cars, you know, you got the trunk and then you can fold the seats flat down. You're going to want to do that, and then this is going to be riding on your center console, the wingtip right here. Even in my Jeep Wrangler, I have the 4-door, I have to fold the seats down to get it in there comfortably for a long distance travel. You could probably chuck it in there a little bit, you know, in a bind, but you don't want to do that with a balsa wood plane. You don't want to put this in a bind. So if you got a truck, you know, a big SUV crossover, this is gonna be no problem. But if you got a small car, you might want to make sure you can fit something 78 inches long into your car. Other than that though, I mean, why not? It's awesome. It's cheap. I mean, this is super affordable, 130 bucks for an ARF. You have to provide a couple things, but other than that, this thing's awesome. I highly recommend it. If you've got a little bit of flight experience and you've got the land to land something like this, that's another thing you have to worry about with sailplanes. Launching's easy, getting in the air is easy, but landing is hard. Not hard in the fact of, you know, getting it to come to land nicely, just getting it to come down. Obviously you're gonna belly land on something like this. You can see I've flown this once already and there's a little nick there in the covering, but it happens, guys, especially on a belly land plane. But you're gonna wanna have a nice long landing strip, something like a football field length. Because when this thing comes down, you're gonna run into something in aviation called the ground effect, which is where your big wing gets close to the ground and the ground actually generates lift. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna be coming in for landing and be like this, here's the ground, and what's gonna happen, your plane's gonna rise. And when that happens, it just makes it harder to land it and you're gonna need more runway. So at that point, that's when you need your extra space. You don't wanna try and land this thing in something cramped, not in between trees. You wanna have a nice open field and good visibility for sure. So what do I say about the TowerHobbies Vista BL? I think it's a great package. For the price, it's unbeatable. I haven't seen anything else that can compete with this. You're gonna pay more for something that's, you know, oh, what do they call it? The Radian, I think, if they still make the Radian. I don't know if they do or not. I think they do, they should. That's a good beginner sailplane, but it's not gonna handle like this thing will. This thing's an absolute joy to fly. And I liked it so much, I bought it again. And then I bought the Grande, which the Grande is great. It flies just as nice as this. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit, you know, more of a, I don't want to say boat anchor, but it's a little bit more, it's not as maneuverable. That's what I'm looking for. But if you want something high and slow, it flies super high, flies super slow, and it's gonna be in the air for a long time, and you've got the runway for it, Vista Grande all day long. That thing's awesome. But like I said, you're gonna need a landing strip for it. A lot of space. Kind of like the old Bird of Time that's now discontinued, the old Dynaflight. It flies very similar to that. Similar wingspan, it's just huge. It flies great, and I enjoy it a lot. But I've only flown it once because I don't have a place to land it. This is what I think is like middle of the road, perfect size for a sailplane. 78 inches, it's plenty of space to get nice thermaling ability and lots of, you know, maneuverability. This thing will do backflips, it'll do little rolls. It's aerobatic, but you don't want to push it too hard. You don't want to crack that wing. Don't do anything stupid. I had my first sailplane I had, it was the Radian XL. And man, that thing flew great. You know, it didn't last. The flight times weren't very long because it was heavy and, you know, you're always using the motor. But what I did was I had it super high, probably way higher than I should have been. And I had to drop the altitude because I was having trouble seeing it. And what I did was I came down too fast. And I would say about 300 feet up, I pulled too hard on the elevator and the main wing just split in half. That thing came down like a rock, and bye-bye sailplane. So this has a stronger characteristic to the frame than that plane, those foam planes do, but I don't think you want to push it too hard because you can still probably have trouble with your rubber bands coming off. I would think something would happen. So, but if you treat it nicely, it's going to treat you nicely. I love it. This is my absolute favorite plane that I own. I own probably 5 or 6 planes, and this one, man, I love flying this plane. It's easy, it's lazy, you don't have to think about it, you're not always correcting. it flies super nice. I mean, there was points where I was, you know, I was trying to get aerial shots of it with my Mavic, and I could set my regular controller down and then go to my Mavic controller, move something real quick and go back to this thing, and it was still just gliding right along like that, no problem at all. So it's super easy once you have it in the air. Only thing that's hard about it's getting it down, obviously. But should you buy it? If you got a little bit of flight experience and you want something bigger and you don't want to spend a lot of money, go for Vista BL, man. They're awesome. It's a great deal. And like I said, you need a couple things to finish it, and that's it. I think you can't go wrong. You really can't. Once again, guys, it's been Chris Superfast RC. This has been my review on the TowerHobbies Vista brushless, and I highly recommend it. 5 stars all the way across the board. If you want to get into RC sailplanes and you've got some flight experience, go for it. You can't go wrong. And man, I love it. Look for the review on the Vista Grande sometime in the future. Like I said, I don't really have a place to land it, so once I find a place, I'll get some more flight into it, get some footage. But I love that plane too. Super easy build on that. Just like this one, very simple. A little bit more to it, but not bad at all. So once again, guys, it's been Chris Superfast RC, and this has been my review of the TowerHobbies Vista BL. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. All right, bye-bye.